everyone, good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Arel Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center, and this is going to be a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below, and I'll come back to it later and answer you on social media. But here through the day today, we've seen a mixture of sunshine and cloud cover. Most of us started off with a blanket of fresh powder, and then through the day, road crews and temperatures above freezing assisted in melting and clearing a lot of that, but we're still going to be in a winter weather pattern that includes cold temperatures, a mixture of sunshine and cloud cover, and even some snow showers on Saturday. So again, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below, and let's really get into this. Now, with the headlines that I've already talked about, one more that we need to discuss is difficult driving conditions continue. Now, even though crews have been doing a good job of clearing the roads tonight, where we had some melting and there's still a little bit of slush, temperatures are just going to be bottoming out in the teens with some single digits. So a refreeze is expected, and some of that begins to impact us later this evening as most of our temperatures fall below freezing and then into the 20s. Now, in the last 24 hours or so, we've had between 1 and 4.5, almost 5 inches of snow through much of the Tri-County area. This is all radar derived, and we know that we don't have a very good radar coverage, so some of these totals could be a little on the light side. Either way, most of the high desert got some of that snow, woke up to slick conditions, and many of us had to do some of that snow removal. Just looking at the snow report as of 4 p.m., we had 1 to 2 inches through the Cascades in the last 24 hours or so, keeping us above 100 inches for 3 of those recording sites, including Bachelor, and still 86 degrees at Hoodoo. Now, our roads are mostly not too bad if you're talking about main arteries. Some of the side roads and back roads even do have snow still on them, so difficult driving conditions even here through the rest of this evening. But when we look across the high desert, we can see some of that slush on some of our roads. Other roads where roads are just wet, and those are the areas that we're looking at a potential refreeze through the overnight hours. And here through the next couple of days, more of that is even going to be possible, more of these slick road conditions. Across Crook County, much the same. Some wet roads, a little bit of slush out there, and then getting up into Jefferson County, and we are looking at very similar conditions. So across the high desert, it is much the same. A lot of the snow that we got has either been cleared or has melted, but it's just the main arteries for the most part. Like I said, some of those back roads not as good of road conditions. And looking up towards the Cascades, we have snow on the road at each one of these cameras, so that is something we're going to continue to track, but also something you need to be made aware of, because if you're doing any traveling where you're going either out of the Central Oregon or between communities, you'll want to use TripCheck. Look before you leave. Go to either our website at centraloregondaily.com, go to the weather tab, and then you can see a button for TripCheck, and you can go to it straight there, or you could just go to the actual website if you'd like. Now, that's also available on our mobile app, the Central Oregon Daily News app, and it's all for free. Now, satellite and radar shows where we have been getting some of those in and out clouds here through today, and that's after most of the precipitation rolled out of the area and we woke up to that blanket of snow. But what we're tracking is this next low that's just to the west of Vancouver Island that has some precipitation associated with, especially where you see those heavier bands of cloud cover from satellite imagery, and that's what's going to be rolling into our neck of the woods as we go forward through the day tomorrow, starting in the early morning hours. So after midnight through the early afternoon hours, we're looking at these off and on snow showers. Just to look at the bigger picture, we're looking at satellite imagery, enhanced satellite, and pressure, and when you see those isobars pretty far apart, we're mostly getting a light breeze, and that's what we have. Starting to see some higher cloud cover beginning to develop off the east slopes of the Cascades, and that's what's been pushing through the high desert, just not seeing much in the way of precipitation with it. Our low is well off the coastline. The center of low pressure actually south of Vancouver Island now, offshore from the Olympic Peninsula, and that's the one that moves through the high desert tomorrow. So just focusing on those snow forecasts. This is one of the forecast models. I'll show you a couple more later on. But when it comes to future precipitation between now and 7 a.m., we're looking at light totals. But remember, those snow showers continue through today. Some moderate totals in the higher elevations, but fast forwarding all the way through the weekend, and most of what we're looking at is just coming through on Saturday, and still light totals, 4+ inches through the Cascades, not too bad. But We are going to have some snow, not too much to clean up, but it could make for slick roads once again. So let's just look at the road conditions forecast model, because here through the next couple of days, we're going to have times where it's going to be a little bit worse than others. By 5 p.m., some wet roads out there from melting, not new precipitation, snow on the road through the Cascades. Fast forward to 11 p.m., much the same, but we actually see where it's transitioning, and that's not new precipitation. That's where we're seeing a little bit of a freeze over, and we are expecting some ice through the overnight hours, or compact snow that is refrozen over, and just slick roads. By Saturday, during the AM hours, that next system starts to roll in. This is when we're expecting those scattered snow showers. Now for today, temperatures topped out in the 30s and 20s across the high desert. Here's a look at current temperatures as of 4:40 p.m. and we're sitting in the 30s with several spots that have already started to get down into the 20s, or they never really left the 20s. So it's been a very cold day across the high desert. Winds a little breezy at times. Now the temperature difference is running between 4 degrees cooler and 6 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. And I did mention this, so winds have been breezy at times. Gusts not too high. We're looking at gusts between 6 and 20 miles per hour. So that means that the actual wind speed is about 5 to 15 miles per hour, and it's going to stay that way through the rest of this evening. By tonight, starting to taper off during the early morning hours. But remember, that's when this next system is going to be rolling through. Wind speeds don't really pick up as we go forward through Saturday or Sunday. Sunday's even more of a gentle breeze than we have right now. And then our forecast model is going to help us figure out the timing of everything. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a closer look. Here's your low pressure that's offshore, and this ridge of high pressure is actually built into the Pacific Northwest in advance of that next system. So when we dive in and take a closer look, we're actually seeing that it's really not going to start to bring us some snow showers until the early morning hours. I'm actually going to rock this back and forth for you. So we see that low pressure starting to roll in after midnight and through the early AM, so about 3, 4 o'clock, starting to see those snow showers, and then continuing. It's just going to be scattered through 7 o'clock, and then by the midday hours, we still have some lingering snow showers, just not for everybody. In fact, some times of sunshine are even expected as we go forward through the day. Saturday, it's still going to be cold, still going to be breezy at times. And then fast forward a little bit more, and by Saturday night, we get continued clearing, leaving us under plenty of sunshine through the day Sunday. Now, Sunday will be mostly sunny to partly cloudy at times, especially later in the day when we start to see that next system begin to roll in. And you can't see it too clearly on here. There's going to be a cold front. At this time, Monday at 1 a.m., it stretched from Great Falls, Helena, Missoula, through Idaho, and into the Columbia River Gorge, and closer to Pendleton at that time. And so that cold front, that actually dips further south, hour by hour, bringing scattered snow showers through the area Monday with a much colder air mass associated with this next cold front coming, bringing in some of that Arctic air from Canada and way far to our north. But that colder air mass just digs into the Pacific Northwest, bringing a big drop in temperatures after we have some of these snow showers on Monday. Now, we could be looking at some accumulation on Monday. It's just the current forecast models aren't actually showing much in the way of total. So all of that is what we're expecting through this weekend and into next week. Just focusing on the precipitation of future precipitation through Sunday, we're just looking at some light totals. The mountains absorb most of the snow from this next system, but when we take a closer look between now and Sunday at 11 p.m., we're looking at a trace getting up to 4 inches on the east slopes of the Cascades. Now, a different forecast model shows similar numbers for the weekend, but by Monday at 11 p.m., it shows slightly higher accumulations from parts of the Tri-County area, and that's because of the snow showers that we're expecting on Monday. So for tonight, it's getting cold. In and out clouds are expected, temperatures fall into the teens with a few single digits possible. And then through the day Saturday, mixture of sunshine and cloud cover, scattered snow showers, highs in the 30s with a few 40s possible. But let's look past that. Let's look forward, because we know Monday's system is bringing that huge drop in temperatures. And just looking at highs, we're going from 30s this weekend to 20s early next week. The cool down is going to bottom out on Tuesday. That forecast high is 23 degrees, and then we start to rebound on Wednesday. But by late Wednesday, another system starts to impact us. Let's continue down this rabbit hole. Let's look at morning low temperatures. By Saturday morning, we're talking teens. teens for morning lows through Monday morning. Once that cold front pushes through on Monday, we see a huge drop in temperatures, and we're looking at single digits. Now keep in mind, those are average temperatures for the Tri-County area, so some of our higher elevations are actually expecting some sub-zero temperatures as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday, and even into Wednesday night. So it is going to get cold. Now our temperature trend days 6 through 10, past that graphic we were just looking at, still unseasonably cool. Remember, our average high is 44 to 47 degrees, and our average low is 25 degrees. That 44 was for Bend, the 47 is for Redmond. So either way, we're just going to be not in the 40s at all through the next 7 days, so well below average for this time of the year, and above average precipitation chances. So just to recap, our weather headlines for the weekend include cold temperatures continuing. Winter is here to stay, and don't let the sunshine fool you, because we are still expecting these temperatures to stay well below average for this time of the year. Now, scattered snow is in the forecast Saturday. Not much in the way of totals, especially considering what we've gotten through this week. And difficult driving conditions will be a factor, because remember, even though we get some clearing of the snow that's on the roads, once we refreeze, that still just becomes treacherous driving conditions. So that's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have your full and most reliable forecast at 5 and 11 on ABC, and at 6, 7, and 11 on CBS. Join us. We'll see you then.